Okay, on to the final match. We are 3-1 coming into this. We were looking really well up until our last round, where we got completely wastelanded out of game 2, and had a bit of a poor start game 1. This hand's mediocre, but we're going to keep it. We've got a draw 3, we've got some mana, and we've got a strip mine and a force of will. We're currently against the player who, at the time of this league, had the most trophies. I think he had 20-some trophies. I think turn 1 it's probably correct to Mox Sapphire Brainstorm. I hope to find a fetch land. And our opponent's taking a moment to do something. So far this is a terribly exciting match, with both of us having taken big long pauses to start the game. And I've almost skipped through my first turn there. So let's hope I notice. Alright, so that was wrong, straight away. As I mentioned before, the Sapphire should have brainstormed. Okay, and we're not looking particularly good right now. We do not want to draw that Blightsteel Colossus. Okay, and I think we probably should be playing out the rest of our Moxes here so that we have Force plus Fluster up. Okay, and we do not want to deal with a Mentor. This really is why we should have had Force plus Fluster. Okay, Ancestral's not real good for us here. Nor is our opponent fetching. And we can just basically concede there. Once Mentor's on the table, I think we're in a lot of trouble, especially with the hand that we have that has no ability to draw any cards. Against Mentor, I'm a bit happier keeping the Blightsteel in. I think a quick Blightsteel is generally one of the easiest ways to beat a quick Mentor. And given they don't quite go off in the same way as Paradoxical, I'm also more inclined to, I know it sounds strange, but cut a Jace. Just they play a few more creatures. We're going to keep this hand. We can play a Mox and we can ponder. And play a top. So I was wondering if it was a good thing to shuffle there, but it turns out, oh, I think we're much better off having a top in play. So we could snap ponder here, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We could have snap pondered. So we decided to draw the mana drain, keep the force up next. So this lets us ideally set up to try to get maybe something like a dig through time off. So drain something of a reasonable size. We're just going to play draw go for a little bit here so that we can build up to it. But yeah, just mana drain something of a reasonable size with force backup. Untap, dig, hopefully find enough gas to keep going. So it might have been worth misstepping that there. And especially as we have the snap in hand to for a second misstep if we want it. Get probe's fine but annoying. I think one of the things that we need to be really worried about here specifically is something like a Stony Silence, which if he's on Mentor, is very likely to be playing. So normally I'm not terribly worried about Stony Silence, but I think given what our hand looks like, it's something we want to be really wary of. Okay, and there's the Stony Silence, so we need to drain this right now. Okay, so I really think we probably want to... I think we're interested in forcing the Stony Silence. So I really don't think we should have let that resolve, as top was the only thing that we had going on. And I think, yeah, taking the Tundra is fine, but not doing enough. An opponent's now going to snap and get a free redraw to replace the snap, and we're just getting further and further behind. So we've only got one more card before we're through the cards that we saw with top. So at least we're going to draw a Force of Will soon. Which I don't think even matters anymore. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't start taking Moxes, not because he needs to, just because it starts to very quickly cut me off mana. Okay, and so we really need for that Ancestral to resolve next turn, and I think if it doesn't, we probably just want to scoop. Okay, so at the moment, we at least have double misstep and a force. So we can beat a certain amount of interaction here. We should have pitched the Notion Thief. So the Notion Thief isn't getting cast for a long time here. Okay, that last Force of Will there will more or less close up the game. or should more or less close up the game. We do have a dig through time, which theoretically could pull us back in. Okay, but our opponent's casting one of his stealth spells, which tells us straight away we're stuffed. So he gets to reload with Cruise, pitch the crap that he drew with Cruise away with Dak, leaving him with a much better hand. And I wouldn't be terribly surprised now if he had another Snapcaster Mage and another land, and just Time Walks again. Okay, and now we can concede.